Hello, my name is Susan Perrow and I love to write stories for children, and I especially love to tell stories to children. A week ago I was walking on the beach near where I live, and the wind blew past me and whispered this story and wanted it shared with children all over the world. This story is called The Little Gnome Who Had to Stay Home. Little Gnome was confused. Why did he have to stay home? Didn't everyone know how little gnomes love to roam? He couldn't play with his friends in the forest, and his friends couldn't visit him. Little Gnome was stuck in his tree roots home. At least he could look out his window through the rocks and the tree roots. He was surprised there was so much to see. Little ants were scurrying by. Brightly coloured beetles were climbing up and down the leaves. And floppy-eared rabbits were hopping in and out their burrows. But even with all these things to watch, Little Gnome was growing impatient. Why did he have to keep on staying home? It didn't make sense to him why he could not roam. Then Mother Tree whispered to him, "Things are not as they used to be, but trust me, soon you will be free. Trust me, trust me." Little Gnome knew in his heart that he could always trust Mother Tree. Mother Tree was as wise could be. Mother Tree carried the wisdom of the whole forest. Mother Tree knew about everything. The birds and the wind were her friends and their messengers. They visited her every day, sharing the news of the big wide world. Little Gnome could hear when the birds came by. He could hear them singing high up in the branches of Mother Tree. Little Gnome could see when the wind was visiting. He could see the branches swaying this way and that. He sometimes even had to close his window to keep out the leaves and the dust stirred up by this busy friend. Every day, Mother Tree continued to whisper to him, "Things are not as they used to be, but trust me, soon you will be free. Trust me, trust me." So Little Gnome had to trust, and Little Gnome had to wait. Soon he knew he would be free again to leave his home amongst the rocks and the tree roots. Soon he knew he would be free again to roam once again in the beautiful forest. And while he waited, he was surprised how many things he could find to do in his cosy little tree roots home. Little Gnome can dance, Little Gnome can sing, Little Gnome can paint and draw and do somersaults across the floor. Little Gnome can dance, Little Gnome can sing, Little Gnome can clean and cook and curl up with a picture book. Sometimes when I write my stories, I always like to play with them a bit and write them in rhyme as well. So here it is again as a poem. Little Gnome had to stay home. He couldn't play with his friends and he couldn't roam. He was stuck all alone in his tree roots home. Didn't everyone know how little gnomes love to roam? Mother Tree whispered, "Listen to me. Things are not as they used to be, but trust me, soon you will be free." Little Gnome knew he could trust Mother Tree. Mother Tree was as wise could be. So little Gnome had to trust and patiently wait to be free. Up high in Mother Tree, the birds sang with glee, and the wind blew round and round, bringing messages each day from far, far away. At the bottom of the tree, in his knobbly tree root home, little Gnome was busy finding many things to do. You may be able to do them too. Little Gnome can dance, little Gnome can sing, little Gnome can paint and draw and do somersaults across the floor. Little Gnome can dance, little Gnome can sing, little Gnome can clean and cook and curl up with a picture book. Little Gnome can dance, little Gnome can sing, little Gnome can... Well, maybe you can think of some things that little Gnome can do, and maybe you may be able to do them too.